I got you.
All right, creatures of the night. Welcome to another round of Dead Man Talking here on the Talking Taker YouTube channel. My name is Alex Doriot, one of the co-hosts of Talking Taker, along with my fellow co-host, Mr. Travis White. Of course, Talking Taker podcast, we have for the past 4.5 years done an encyclopedic exploration digging up the career of the greatest professional wrestling character of all time, The Undertaker. And of course, you can hear every single episode, nearly 200 of them now on our podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can hear them all here on the YouTube channel as well. Of course, got full video versions of the podcast over there. And today we're going to be talking about The Undertaker's final match, the Boneyard Match that he had against AJ Styles at WrestleMania 36. Just picked up the new Mattel Elite WrestleMania Collection AJ Styles figure to represent that match. So I'm going to be unboxing that figure here in just a moment. Picked up a couple other things here today. I went on a little fig hunt. Went to Target, which is where I got the AJ WrestleMania figure. Been looking for that one. Been scoping it out for a while. Finally had it in stock there. They did not have the Shawn Michaels from that set, which I would also love to pick up. That represents Shawn's final match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 26, 10 years prior. So I am on the lookout for that one. But I also went to the local toy store here in Greenville called the Toy Federation and picked up a couple of loosies. They got a great big bin, a tub full of loose wrestling guys there for $5 a piece. And I'd say it's about 90% Jack's Bone Crunchers, and probably at least 70% of those are in awful condition. Very played with. Great if you're a kid and you just want to add some new guys to your collection. But I always scour through there, and a lot of the time it's the same stuff. But today I found a couple of new guys in there, and it just happened to be guys that I need to add to the Talking Taker collection. A couple of the fringe guys on there. Two guys that I believe tag teamed together at WrestleMania 26, now that I think about it. We got John Morrison and R-Truth. Two guys that, you know, could easily be in the Hall of Fame one day alongside our man, The Undertaker, who's going in this year. I think R-Truth will absolutely be in there. Jomo, maybe, who knows, could be in there. But actually, both these guys represent the same match as well. Also from 2010 is the Elimination Chamber 2010 match. Both of these guys are in that match with The Undertaker. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think either of them actually physically interact with Undertaker. Maybe Morrison does. I'm not actually sure if Truth does. I haven't seen that match in a while, but not much interaction if either of them do. But they're technically opponents of Undertaker in a big match, a main event match there on pay-per-view. So that's the rules, man. They got to come into the collection. Since it's such insignificant matches and moments for them, I didn't want to spend a ton on figures. So $5 loosies for them, that is perfect for me. But they're both basics. I am not knowledgeable enough in the Mattel line to tell you exactly which basic run they are from. They're fairly old, though, definitely a few years old. But solid figures, man. Definitely solid basics to put in my collection. R-Truth has his tattoo. Got that big smiling face. I mean, how do you not love R-Truth? Guy who's been around for 20 years now, who's been in the WWE for, almost probably 12 years now on this current run. He's got 100 million different 24/7 title reigns. Always entertaining when he's on TV. I wish he could have had more interaction with Undertaker. Could have been very entertaining. Same with Jomo. Same with John Morrison, a guy I've been a big fan of ever since he was on Tough Enough as John Hennigan and won that season with also the late great Matt Capitelli. Was a big fan of his. Ever since then, all the way through Eminem, Johnny Nitro, John Morrison, whatever nickname you want to give him. I was rooting for him to win Survivor, the season of Survivor he was on. I'm a diehard Survivor fan, so I was pulling for him then. And I did check it before I bought this figure, but he actually does have similar pants to these on during that Elimination Chamber match. So he's got the lighter color pants on during that match. So this figure does actually fit pretty well for that time period. Although, now that I'm looking at it and thinking about it, does he have the beard? Does he have the beard in that match? Can't remember. Not sure. I don't know. Somebody fact check me. But either way, they're going on the shelf. They're going on the collection. So added these guys today. But the main event, why we're here, this bad boy, the AJ Styles. And I've been waiting for this AJ Styles figure for 2 years. I kept crossing my fingers, hoping and praying that Mattel and WWE were going to release this figure to represent this match because what a toyetic, as they say, what a toyetic match and moment. Absolutely iconic. The Boneyard Match, main eventing WrestleMania 36. Can't believe it's been 2 years since then. The pandemic WrestleMania, as we all remember it, the first two-night WrestleMania. And this match came on Saturday night as the main event. These guys were set. That the plan was for them to just have, your normal old regular singles match at WrestleMania 36 before coronavirus shut the world down and flipped the world on its head. And they had to pivot and changed it to the cinematic Boneyard Match. And it was so good, such a fitting, epic moment that The Undertaker finally was able to say, I'm satisfied, I can end my career. That was a great way to do it. And we reviewed it on the pod last year, about this time last year, in our penultimate episode of the podcast, as we reviewed his final match, and it held up. It's so awesome. This figure to represent The Undertaker in that match, I put it, when I was a guest on the Fig Cave podcast, I put it as a top 5 all-time Undertaker figure, and I stand by that because it's so unique. Mattel put so much detail into this and every aspect of it, and they nailed it. They honestly, there never needs to be another figure to represent this match because this one is so freaking perfect with the accessories, the shovel, the vest, the headband, all of it. And they've actually re-released it, so you can find it on the shelves now. It came out last year, but they've actually re-released it to go along with this set. So if you missed it at that point, you could find it now. But I held off on getting an AJ Styles. I could just have gotten one in his ring gear. But I was hoping and figuring that this was so iconic that they would make the AJ to match with The Undertaker. And finally, they have done it here. Sadly, we will never get the Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson to match up with this figure. I do think I need to get a Gallows and Anderson to go in my collection, even though they were not technically opponents of Undertaker. They played a significant role in that match, and I'd love to get versions of them to put up on the Talking Taker shelf. So I am always on the lookout for them on my checklist of the Rogues Gallery of Undertaker figures here. So let's crack this bad boy open. I have been eagerly anticipating it. So excited when I found it on the shelves at Target today. There's a look at the back of it. And WWE Champion, United States Champion, Raw Tag Team Champion, all of AJ's stats. The Phenomenal One called out The Undertaker and vowed to bury him in a Boneyard match at WrestleMania 36. So cool. He's got his height, weight, and of course his hometown, Gainesville, Georgia, which I have always popped for that as far as an AJ Styles fan, because Gainesville it's not much. It's not much of a city here in Georgia. It's certainly not Atlanta. And I just love that AJ represents Gainesville, Georgia. And I've been an AJ Styles fan truly since 2001. Because as Travis and I have said, we were huge WCW fans till the dying days, till the final Nitro episode aired. And we both have a very special place in our heart for 2001 era WCW, where it felt like nobody was watching, but it was actually kind of a fun product that they were putting on there for the last 3 months. And AJ Styles, along with Air Paris, had a very, very fun tag team there. When WCW launched a new division in the final 3 months, the Cruiserweight Tag Team division, and AJ Styles and Air Paris were in there. And I thought that guy was so cool and so exciting. And then he went to TNA. And he became a star in TNA, and loved him ever since as an underdog. Felt like he was never going to come to WWE, that he would never make it or be the kind of guy that survived in WWE. But boy, over the past 5 years, has he ever more than exceeded expectations for him. You would have never believed it if you told me in 2001, watching those final Nitros and Thunders, that this would be the guy that would have the final ever match with The Undertaker in a cinematic Boneyard match in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. But you just never can tell. So, let's see it. Let's put him side by side with The Undertaker that he belongs with here. I keep my figures loose for the most part, so we're opening him up. As I open this up, I will say, I had another figure I was trying to buy at the Toy Federation here in Greenville, South Carolina, which is a great store, and go there, try to go there a couple times a month and check them out, but they almost got me today. They almost screwed me over because they had the Kama Mattel Elite figure, which I have been looking for. I have never seen it at a retail shelf store, and that's where I always try to buy my figures, either eBay or on the shelves. I just enjoy the hunt a lot more than just buying them from ringside. I know I could, I know I should, but I don't know, man. Something about it, I still like to hunt in person. But they had the Kama. They had a Kama mint on card there, or so I thought, because I had it in my hand. I was actually headed toward the register to check out, and I started looking at it, and I noticed something. I noticed the Kama figure did not have the gold chain around his neck. He didn't have it anywhere to be found in the packaging, the melted down urn, which is a huge part of that figure, a huge reason why you need it. And as I looked at the package more, I could tell it had been opened, it had been used, it had been played with, and put back in the package and put it back on the shelves there. And it was missing the necklace. And what's the point of buying it without that necklace? So I'm glad that I saw that and noticed that before I spent the money on it, because I would have been screwed, and then I had to get another one to get the urn necklace. So that was a bummer, but I was excited to get this. The AJ Styles, it's got the Build a Vince body in there. I will not be building the Vince McMahon, although I think that's very cool. Something I would have loved as a kid to have a Build-A-Figure in that line or in that set. I understand why they do it, but if you're like me, if you're a very specific collector, if you have a very specific collection, these little pieces, they don't do you much good. So honestly, maybe I could sell it on eBay for a few bucks, but probably not worth the hassle. That one's going in the trash. Sorry, Vince's torso. And, you know, I don't really need the extra hands here. These are the Vince hands, the WrestleMania 3 hands. Definitely don't need those. The shovel head. Right. And I don't really need these extra AJ hands, although I appreciate them. And it's cool, man. It's got the gloves, and look at that detailing, man. You can actually do it just like AJ does it. You can have the gloves come together, make that P1. Love that about AJ's look. Love that about these gloves. I will keep those. Don't really need them, because I am going to display him just like this with the shovel in his hand. So he's got the alternate hands that can hold the shovel there. What more do you want, dude? This is the AJ from that match. I am so glad that he wore street fight gear to this cinematic match, much like The Undertaker did. I hate it when wrestlers wear just their gear to a street fight. Man, I just think that's always so cool when wrestlers show up in jeans and a t-shirt to a street fight. That's what it's supposed to be. It's a street fight. You don't wear your gear to that. So I'm so glad AJ did. And he's got the OC shirt on for that short-lived name for his faction with Gallows and Anderson. They were the Club, and then they became the original Club for some stupid reason. Vince's branding there. Just all I think of is the OC, the TV show, which I've seen every episode of. Was a big fan of back in the day. Just cracks me up. But there you go, accurate shirt. He's got his jeans on, and this is an elite figure, so you can move everything around here. These really don't even look like jeans, to be honest with you. They kind of look like blue khakis or dress pants here. Probably could have put some more fading and more details or scuffs or scratches on there, maybe some dirt and dust, like you've been beaten up in the match a little bit, but it's fine. It's got the elbow pad, and I was wondering if it had this, but this is cool. It's got the little wristband that AJ wears sort of right in the middle of his forearm, and it even says the OC on there, so that's a nice attention to detail there, and glad they didn't leave that out. And it's got the AJ here. The shirt is removable, so you could take it off. You could, if you're doing your Fig Fed or storylines or something like that, and you just want to have AJ in jeans for some reason, you could always do that. It's got the exact same shovel as the Undertaker here. I'm sure they both used it in the match. I don't remember specifically. Actually, let's see. Oh, yeah. Look at that. So it's just a normal AJ body under there. I was wondering, because it does have his tattoos and everything. So they just used a regular AJ body and head on there, so that's nice. But, yeah, you put the shovel in his hand right there, and look at that. You've got yourself a Boneyard Match, AJ Styles and The Undertaker. And look at that. They really nailed the size difference there. Undertaker's a good foot taller than AJ down to scale. Maybe even more than that. Man, that's perfect, though. Look at these guys. They're ready to fight each other. You could recreate this cinematic match, this iconic moment. Oh! The Undertaker's final match, represented in figure form, just in time for The Undertaker to go into the Hall of Fame here in 2021. So, 2022. What year are we in? My goodness. Tell me what you think. Have you picked up this AJ Styles Elite Boneyard Match figure? Would you pick up 3, maybe, so you could get the OC shirts to put on a Gallows and Anderson figure? Is that the way to go about it? I don't know. Could be a way to do it. You could customize it and have that whole match represented. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on this one. Got more videos to come here on the Talking Taker YouTube channel. Definitely check out our Boneyard Match episode. It is episode 186 of the podcast. So a very recent one, and that is one where we got a full video version with me and Travis talking through this match. I think we have also a initial reaction video that we did literally minutes after the match was over. We recorded that and put that up on YouTube as well. And listen to our latest episode. That'll be coming out here, our Hall of Fame special episode, or watch it here on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, and as always, take her easy.